lights on.
Good morning, everyone. Like to get everyone's attention? Good morning, everyone, and thanks for being here. I'm Board Chair Tony Kosha. Welcome to Amtrak 2.0. When Amtrak was created 50 years ago, no one really knew what the future of rail travel would be like. We have our highs and our lows, but that journey is what's taken us here today. There's no question that an entirely new generation has embraced train travel. We built these trains to meet that demand. Today is the start of a new Amtrak, one that lives up to the promise of safe, reliable, and efficient travel. A company that highly values its mission of contributing to the greatest mobility system in the world improves its worthiness of the support of our passengers and the American taxpayer. Our over 20,000 employees understand that the job is not to pick between service and financial performance, it's to do both. Every precious dollar, every precious dollar in investment needs to make a difference, and every passenger needs to be our most important customer. Whether it's people traveling on the Northeast Corridor, on the brand new NextGen Acela trains, or our long-distance riders, or those using our state-supported services. The job is to run the company well, make good decisions on a daily basis that result in a better experience for our passengers. The NextGen Acela fleet, the biggest investment in rolling stock in 25 years, requires determination to reverse decades of underinvestment, but it certainly came with its challenges. Getting these trains put into service required developing skills that have all but disappeared. Thousands of jobs across the country were created to build these trains in the United States, and we plan to keep on building them. Over this year, over 34 million people will ride on Amtrak this year, and our revenue will be nearly $4 billion. Both of these records seem beyond reach just 10 years ago. Our goal is to reach 40 million passengers by 2030 and financially break even in our operations by 2028. How will that happen? By working hard, being smart, and remembering that every day is not actually about the trains, but the passengers who ride on them and the taxpayers who pay for them. I mentioned a minute ago that our role is to aspire to play a role in a national transportation system that's unrivaled anywhere on the globe. Our aviation, maritime, highways, and goods movement systems are both complex and impressive. Our next speaker is the person who conducts that symphony every day. In his first year as Secretary Duffy faced a number of significant challenges and managed them extremely well. And he forced us all into a new way of thinking that has already generated material improvements in the way Americans move around the country and the world. His leadership and his team's leadership help us get to the final objective of putting these trains into service today. Everyone knows that the last 5% of everything is the most difficult, and without his help and his team's help, we could not have gotten here. So please join me in welcoming U.S. Transportation Secretary John Duffy.
Thank you, I appreciate your leadership. You have done a fantastic job. It is a great day for a celebration. Right? By the way, I don't know who brought it up, but the sun is shining, the sky is blue, the band is here. It's a wonderful day for this launch. Again, I think the president has been pretty clear on what he wants for a Union Station, for American travel, for train travel. He wants Union Station to be beautiful again. He wants transit to be safe again. And he wants our nation's capital to be great again. And today is part of that. Listen, I've had the opportunity, like many of you multiple times, to ride the old Acela. Again, I think we'd all agree it was showing its age. And if you've taken a tour of the new trains, they're beautiful. They're going to be faster. We're going to have not 15 trains, we're going to have 28 trains. So we're going to be able to carry more people on these trains, which hopefully means better pricing. It's going to mean better revenue, but most importantly, a better experience for the traveling public. And again, that's what we do. We serve the American people with great experiences, and that's what this is about today. So I am completely honored to be here. Again, would I like to have us a little further off the federal dollar in time? Yes. I think, as Tony mentioned, this is going to bring us a little bit closer to that goal. Again, I would love to see high-speed rail in America. I don't think it should just be China, Europe, Japan, others that have high-speed rail. This is at 160 miles an hour, one great step in that process. But again, this administration, this DOT wants to make those investments to make travel safe, efficient, and faster. And so I'm excited to be here at this time for this historic announcement. I also want to talk about Union Station. If you've heard the president and you follow DC news, the president has been very concerned about crime in our nation's capital. He wants a capital that is worthy of the greatest country that's ever existed on the face of the earth, which means a capital that's clean, a capital that's safe, and a capital that doesn't have its parks overtaken by homelessness. And so we look at our equities. We are going to partner and invest in the streets of this city. But today, we are going to look at Union Station. And Union Station is frankly owned by DOT. We are going to take DOT from our partners back under DOT control, and we are going to make the investments to make sure that this station isn't dirty, that we don't have homelessness in Union Station. We want a place where businesses want to obtain leases and set up shop and serve the community of DC, but also the people that travel into DC via train. But also, we want if you're out, you want to go for a great meal, you want to go shopping, you want to come to Union Station because it's gorgeous, it's beautiful, it's safe, it's a great experience. That's what we want to do for Union Station. So today we're announcing that we're going to take Union Station back under DOT control. Not a power play, we've always had it, but we think that we can manage the property better, bring in more tenants, bring in more revenue, and that revenue is going to allow us to make investments in this beautiful building. It needs investments. It's been, I think, neglected for decades, and it's shown its age. And again, we want to make this place beautiful and the premier train station, not just in America, but the premier train station in the world. And that takes money. And again, it's this reform that's going to help us make that happen. Again, I would be remiss if I didn't talk about what's happened with regard to the last couple of weeks in D.C. Robberies are down 52%. Carjackings, they're down 38%. Violent crime across the board is down by 40%. All of us, if you have kids, you want to be able to move throughout this city without being in fear for your safety or your life. And I appreciate the president driving these policies that are going to change the way people can live and move and feel safe in this community. And we're going to do our part to make sure that people feel safe at Union Station, especially those who are then going to move to Union Station and have a great experience on these new Acelas. I want to take a quick moment and thank our FRA team, who has done a fantastic job. I never thought I'd know so much about trains or care so much about trains, but we have a passionate team who care about making sure people move faster, safer, and more efficiently through our system. But the leader of our team that's truly grabbed these issues is our Deputy Secretary, Steve Bradbury, who's going to come up and speak as well. But he has taken the lead for DOT. He's had a great vision and has been a great partner. And a lot of what's happening wouldn't be taking place without his vision and leadership and partnership at DOT. So Steve, I want to thank you for all that you've done to make today happen. I want to thank you all for coming out. I hope that as we celebrate today, and I love the science and the fanfare and the excitement around this, it's wonderful. We should have more experiences like this, American experiences like this, because I want people to have a choice. I want their air travel to be less delayed or less canceled. We're on the way to that, by the way. Give me some time. Hopefully next summer is going to be better than this summer. I want less congestion on our streets. But I want people who say, you know what, I don't want to fly to New York. I don't want to drive to New York. I want to take the train to New York, to have a great, awesome option on these trains to make that choice. And again, it's about allowing Americans to choose their mode of travel. And again, what we're doing here is, again, I think opening up a lot of options for the American people to travel differently, travel by train. And so I'm excited. I couldn't be more honored that the President gave me this position at DOT. I'm just going to tell you, I think he gave me the best job in all the Cabinet. Some of the other Cabinet members may disagree with that, but I think I've got the best job. And I think we impact people's lives. How people move, how quickly they move, how delayed they are, how safe they are, impacts their lives. Do they get home for dinner? Are they late to dinner? Do they tuck their kids in for bed? Do they make their business meeting? All of our work together truly impacts the way people live and experience their families, their communities, and how effective they are at their jobs. So I want to thank you all for all of your hard work, your effort. And again, exciting days that we want this not to be the first and last. We want this to be the first of many great announcements that we make that's going to make travel and train travel great again in America. So thank you all for coming out. God bless and honor to your service.
Thank you, Secretary. You know, there are so many people at Amtrak that have played an incredible role in us getting here today. We've fallen behind in investing in rolling stock and investing in rail systems. This major investment represents a real turning point. But you know, those things happen one step at a time. And sometimes those steps are really difficult. Sometimes they're a little bit easier. But the Amtrak team that worked on this, I have an enormous amount of gratitude for. The board is appreciative of all your work. And the person who leads that effort, the person who has been steadfast on this project and worked through all of the different obstacles and challenges is the president of Amtrak, who I'd like to introduce now to speak, Roger Harris. Roger.
Thank you, Tony, and thank you, Mr. Secretary. It's very exciting date here today. Beautiful trains, beautiful weather, beautiful crowd. Thank you very much. As Tony said, I'm the president of Amtrak, and I'd like to welcome you here to this launch ceremony for the next generation of Acela. In my many years in the transportation industry, including the last 6 at Amtrak, I have never seen a project bring together a company the way this one has. NextGen Acela has been a truly impressive display of teamwork, dedication, and commitment, just like Tony said. And I'd like to ask for a round of applause for all the people who worked on that project. It's easy to say that these are great days for Amtrak. After all, it's true. We're breaking records across the country. For 2 years in a row now, we've broken our ridership record. But starting tomorrow, it's an even better day for the residents and visitors of the Northeast Corridor, especially in the nation's capital, Washington, D.C. Acela isn't just for titans of industry and politicians. It's for coming to visit the many museums and restaurants the district has to offer, touring the National Mall, Capitol, or White House. With Next Generation Acela, you can relax before spending a full day visiting the sites and learning our country's history. Catching a Nationals game? Get there before the crowd for the high-speed train. Have an important business meeting in Golden Triangle? Stay productive and connected with our 5G-enabled Wi-Fi. Want to get inspired by state-of-the-art tech before you experience it at that DC Innovation Hub? Now with NextGen Acela, you can get all of this and more before you step into the city. And yet, it's not just about Washington, D.C. After all, we're about to take this train all along the Northeast Corridor. to Philadelphia, New York City, Providence, and Boston. For context, the Northeast Corridor is one of the busiest and economically vital regions in the world. It includes 45% of the jobs in the Northeast, 20% of jobs in the U.S., 25% of the nation's top universities, and 20% of Fortune 500 headquarters. In addition, the Northeast Corridor contributes $3 trillion in annual economic output, 20% of U.S. GDP. When Acela was introduced almost 25 years ago, it changed the way people thought about trains. Amtrak's market share in the Northeast has doubled since then, and NextGen Acela is here to take it to new heights. These trains are beautiful, they are fast, they are state-of-the-art, and they are American-made. And best of all, beginning tomorrow, they are ready for service. What should you expect on board? Well, if I could define the new trains in 3 words, they would be premium, convenient, and comfortable. Plus, by traveling at up to 160 miles per hour and offering more daily departures, there has never been a better way to travel by train in America. Thank you to Alstom and suppliers for designing and manufacturing these trains, as 95% of the components are made right here in America. While these trains will service the Northeast Corridor, their impact is national. More than 180 suppliers built parts for these trains across 29 states. All told, investment in this project generated 15,000 new jobs across the U.S., including in cities like Spartanburg, South Carolina, and Marinette in Secretary Duffy's home state of Wisconsin. So really a widespread impact throughout the country. Secretary Duffy, I'm glad you can be here today to celebrate with us. We appreciate your partnership in improving transportation across the country and your belief in these trains and what they can accomplish for America. Also, I want to thank President Trump and the Trump administration, as well as everyone gathered here today for their support of passenger rail. We often talk about a new era of rail, but that can't exist without next generation Acela. We look forward to seeing you on board. With that,
Thank you, Roger. Very, very well said. Amtrak operates in a partnership with U.S. DOT in many ways, and none of this would be possible without that partnership being effective. Certainly, the FRA has been a critical part of ensuring that Amtrak does its job, does it well, and supports what it does. I know that there are several individuals from FRA who are here today. David Fink, Paul Nussbaum, Kyle Fields, all people who have put an enormous amount of effort into making this possible. But the effort at DOT on a day-to-day basis is led by the Deputy Secretary, who will be our next speaker, Stephen Bradbury, someone who I have spent an enormous amount of time with, working through the challenges of getting us here today, getting these trains running, and we are very indebted. His commitment to service, and his commitment to quality, and his commitment to our passengers and the American public. Deputy Secretary Stephen Bradbury.
What an honor to be here, and really it's an honor for me, a privilege to serve with Secretary Duffy in this second Trump administration. I served in the first one, but I can tell you the energy level in the second Trump administration is just off the charts. It's energizing for me every day. And the ambitions that this administration have, I mean, you've seen the announcements, you see what we're doing. And making rail travel great again in America is part of the ambition of the Trump administration. And so that's what brings us here today. I really want to congratulate Roger and his team, our colleagues at Amtrak. It's a great day for Amtrak. And we have a perfect day weather-wise. Wow. And I have the best view right now, looking right down the nose of this beautiful, gleaming, high-speed train set, real true high-speed train set for the United States. Very exciting. It's going to really make a great passenger experience for Amtrak's customers on the Northeast Corridor, like never before. But those customers also deserve a great passenger experience at Union Station. I also have the privilege as the Secretary's representative to chair the board of directors of the Union Station Redevelopment Corporation. That's a DC corporation that was set up by Secretary Elizabeth Dole back in the 1980s, pursuant to a direction from Congress. Congress in the 1980s transferred ownership of Union Station to the Secretary of Transportation and gave us a charge to maximize the revenue potential of the station, make it a center of economic activity, generate revenue to go into the station and preserve the historic nature of this gorgeous Beaux-Arts rail station, one of the most beautiful buildings in the entire country, entire world, really. And that worked great in the 1980s. You may recall there was a wonderful redevelopment of Union Station. It was beautiful. It was an economic center. It was vibrant. It was really an outstanding symbol of our nation's capital. That was more than 40 years ago, and things have unfortunately gone downhill. We've neglected the basic capital needs of the station. The capital needs now amount to something like $170 million. We need a new roof. We need new systems in the station. We need new restrooms in the station. There's a lot to do, and unfortunately, there isn't the money available. As the Secretary said, the utilization of the station is not where it needs to be. We need to maximize the retail revenue of the station, the revenue of the station as an event space. Can you imagine a better event space? And that should generate huge revenue. Digital signage. We have a parking garage. We need to bring this all together and maximize it. We need to get the station on stable financial footing, and we need to address those acute capital needs of the station. I see Doug Carr here, who heads up USRC, the Union Station Redevelopment Corporation. We're working together with Doug and with Amtrak. As the Secretary said, we have a plan at DOT to take back control of the station, working with our partners, USRC and Amtrak, to get it on a stable financial footing, to address the rehabilitation needs of the station, and really do what Congress demanded we do and take care of this beautiful historic building. Once we do that, and we have a plan to do that quickly during the current Trump administration, we then want to set the foundation to open the doors to a beautiful expansion of the station in the future, probably through a P3, a public-private partnership with a beautiful new passenger concourse. You know, the Biden administration had a plan for a new passenger concourse. They were going to spend a cool $10 billion over 13 years to expand the station out this way. But they weren't going to spend a penny on the historic train house. That's really the wrong priorities. We got to get this historic train house back on good footing, and then we can talk about a reasonable expansion that will make sense and for which Congress will provide a budget with private investment. So that's the long-term vision, which then will create what a passenger experience for Amtrak on the Northeast Corridor. That will supercharge this beautiful Acela service, and that will make for a sustainable future for growth and prosperity and profitability, let's hope, for Amtrak in the future. So thank you all for coming. It's a beautiful day, and let's ride the train.
It is an honor to serve on the Amtrak board, and I wanted to sort of point out that 3 of my fellow board members are here today. Our Vice Chair, Joel Zabin, our Elaine Clegg, who is here all the way from Idaho, showing that the whole country cares about this, and David Capozzi from Maryland, who's also here with us today. It's an honor to be with such a full group of our board that is so committed to making Amtrak all that it should be. People talk about public-private partnerships all the time, and, the truth is that the intersection between government and the private sector is something that we all need to work at, because there's an enormous amount of value that can be unlocked by having strong partnerships with private sector entities where our economic interests and our mission interests can be aligned. And this project is an example of that. And the truth is that our passengers, they don't really care about whether it's the public sector or the private sector. They want to get on a safe, clean, reliable train. They want to get from point A to point B. How we actually do that is really on us to come up with a way of optimizing all of that. So our partnership with Alstom, one of the premier manufacturers of rolling stock in the world, has brought to the United States and brought to this market technology and innovation that has existed in other parts of the world and that is way overdue to enter the U.S. market. And in fact, Alstom is now learning things from us that they're also using in Europe, which is the way that it should work. And in all of that, we've learned to work together, and we've learned to repeat this and do it more. And what's really amazing about all of this is that the technology and the innovation that exists globally has been brought to the United States, but the jobs have been created here. In Hornell, New York, an entire community has been enlivened by the fact that this project, these trains, have been built there. And we're very indebted to our partner for having seen the wisdom of doing that and accessing that unbelievable American workforce that I know Amtrak relies on and the country relies on. So it is an honor to introduce from Alstom their chief executive, Henri Poupard-Lafarge.
Hello everyone, good morning everyone. It's a pleasure and it's a real honor to be with you today. And at the time I'm quite impressed to be alongside this team of speakers, Secretary Duffy, Deputy Secretary Barbary, Chairman Harry, President Harris. It's a fantastic day for us, fantastic day for Alstom. We are today inaugurating a new high-speed line. And as you said, Alstom has pioneered the high-speed technology for the last 40 years. So we have been able to see how much power of transformation of a new high-speed corridor. It creates new economic opportunities. It shrinks distances between cities and between citizens. And it creates a lot of job opportunities and general opportunities for all the people living along the corridors. So today, we are inaugurating the new high-speed train, the fastest train in the US. But I can tell you it's not just a normal train. This is the most advanced train in the world today. This is the only train combining the high-speed technology with the tilting technology, which allows the train to go faster through the curves. So you are here, the most modern train on the globe today. As being said, this train has been entirely built here in America. 15,000 jobs have been created, directly or indirectly, of course including 800 jobs in Hornell, where Alstom has invested $90 million, making it the largest factory dedicated to rail passenger in the US alone. We have also 95%, as been said, of local content, of US content, including 190 suppliers across 29 states. So this is really a combined effort of all the nations to create this fantastic train. Of course, as much as I love the trains and the product, I'm fully aware that the effort is not just the product. The effort is a complete transformation on the infrastructure, on the regulation, on the safety, on the security, in order to offer to the passengers a world-class experience. That will, all this expertise has been built and will be able to be replicated, if I may say, for other high-speed projects throughout the nations. And at that point in time, I really want to pause and to thank and to recognize the leadership, the vision of our partners, and first and foremost, of course, Amtrak, the administration, the FAA, which pushed us during all this time to make us even better, to push this train to be at its max possibilities, and it has been a fantastic journey with all our partners in the US. For Alstom, this is not the end of the journey, this is the beginning of the journey, because we are as much committed to deliver the trains, as much committed to make it a success in operations. So we are going to provide maintenance, spare parts, trainings, trip planning, everything which is necessary to make the NextGen Acela a success in operation as well. Because today, as you say, we are not just integrating a train, we are integrating a new era for US transportation, safer, cleaner, more connected, at the end of the day, more competitive and more productive. So thank you everybody for your efforts. I think this is a new era, this is a new page in the transportation history for a more prosperous world. Thanks a lot.
Good morning. I have the honor today of being the conductor on the inaugural run of Amtrak's next generation high-speed safe train set. And I just want to thank our speakers. Thank you, all of you, our guests, for being here. And also I want to thank the teams from Amtrak and Alstom for all the hard work they've done to put this project into a reality. And with that being said, all that's left to say is, all aboard!